Welcome everyone. We'll get started. Call the June Seymour Board of Ed meeting to order at 7:04. Please rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, item 2, Board of Administrative Communications. Item A is the Seymour Champion, and first up, Bungie School.
So this month we are honoring overall champions that exemplify all the qualities of a Seymour champion. So each month we celebrated equality, and these are students who have demonstrated all the qualities of a Seymour champion. So the first person I want to invite up is Grace. Yes, come on up, Grace. So Grace was nominated by her classroom teacher, Mrs. Pitt. Grace is a student who has demonstrated the pillars of a Seymour champion throughout the school year. Grace walks into the classroom with a smile and is prepared to start the day. She is organized, knows the daily routine, and if she has a question, she raises her hand and waits patiently to be called on. Whether Grace is working independently in a small group or with a partner, she is focused on the learning target and expected behavior. She is kind, she shares and welcomes her classmates to join in whenever they need a partner or a group to join. Grace's playtime choices are complete and hard choice. She loves to use her imagination to draw, paint, make puppets, and then act it out using the theater center. In our class, when independent work is complete, students get a choice of activity, and Grace is always working and writing her numbers, adding, subtracting, working on her drawings, her stories in her journal. Grace is a Seymour champion because she perseveres and is motivated to be the best student and friend that she can be. Congratulations. She's a familiar face because her brother also was a Seymour champion this year. Throughout his fifth grade journey, Jeremiah has demonstrated remarkable growth as a student and personal qualities. He's creative, he's hardworking, he has awareness and motivation, he perseveres, he has integrity, he's optimistic, and he shows nobility. His commitment to excellence is evident in his unwavering dedication to every task he undertakes, always striving to do his best. Jeremiah's character is excellent, outstanding, Jeremiah. He can be trusted to do the right thing even when no one is looking. A testament to his integrity. His kindness makes him a beloved figure among his peers and the staff alike. In addition to his academic achievements, Jeremiah's positive attitude and willingness to help others shine brightly. Jeremiah truly deserves to be a Seymour champion, and we're proud of all he's accomplished at Bungie School, and we look forward to seeing all he accomplishes at middle school and high school as well.
Presty is very honored to acknowledge two Seymour champions overall for this year, and they are two fine character young citizens that are two of our CLS student ambassadors. So Mrs. Sealka's student Frank Thomas will be our first one, and Mrs. Sealka's here, so she will also present.
Ensuring they are completed to the highest standard. Humility and perseverance are cornerstones of Frank's character. Despite his high level of academic achievement, he remains humble and always strives to improve. When faced with challenges, Frank tackles them with determination and resilience, never shying away from hard work. Frank's most commendable traits are his kindness and respect towards everyone. He treats classmates, teachers, and staff with genuine warmth and consideration. Frank is a true friend to all. Always ready to lend a helping hand, Frank makes everyone feel valued and included. Frank possesses many gifts, but the one I appreciate most is his fun-loving nature. As he moves on to 5th grade, I will miss many things about Frank, but none more than his laugh, which filled our classroom every day this year. Frank embodies all the qualities that this award seeks to recognize. It is with great pride that I nominated Frank as a Seymour champion, confident that he will continue to inspire and make a positive impact on our school and community for years to come.
As I said, both of our nominees at CLS are student ambassadors, and we're really fortunate that both were 4th graders, so we get to have them as ambassadors, great role models for next year as 5th graders. Our second one is Vivian Motrady. She can come up, and also this is the University of
I've had the pleasure of teaching Vivian for the past 2 years in a looping classroom. Vivian began her career at CLS in March of 2nd grade after moving from California and being homeschooled. When I met Vivian as a 3rd grader, she was extremely shy and kept to herself. She wore her hair covering her face, and I could barely see those shiny eyes. She had one close friend from her previous 2nd grade class. That version of Vivian is unrecognizable to me now at this point. Vivian exemplifies everything that any teacher or parent would want as a student and is a true Seymour champion. First and foremost, Vivian is extremely kind and thoughtful. She goes out of her way to include everyone in the classroom. She never complains and is not negative. She has a very calm and peaceful demeanor, like someone described as an old soul. She gets along with everyone in the classroom so well, and even during challenging friendship situations, Vivian is always honest, never chooses sides, and sees the best in everyone. Vivian is a very successful student academically, yet I have never heard her brag or boast about it. So I will boast about it for her. Vivian's spring math score was in the 97th percentile, along with her reading spring math score in the 91st percentile, and science math in the 94th percentile. It is very difficult to maintain those levels that Vivian has over time at CLS. Vivian loves being challenged and would spend time on 11th grade skills on IXL. She would smile at her scores, but Vivian is not the type of person to gloat about it. She has intrinsic motivation and is a great role model for others in the class. I would not be surprised to see Vivian as the class of 2032 is valedictorian. Vivian was chosen as the CLS ambassador this year and has taken her role very seriously. Mr. Electric commented to me that he was very impressed when she showed up to ambassador training with a notebook and a pencil. She was one of the first newly inducted ambassadors to read the morning announcements aloud at school. I knew she was nervous, because who wouldn't be, but we would have never known it. She was a strong, confident voice and spoke like a pro. Vivian is a member of the CLS band, she does drums, and chorus. However, she also has been taking piano lessons outside of school. Vivian has a talent for art. She has given me many candy, gifts, and cards, paying attention to my love of hedgehogs. When I asked some of Vivian's classmates to describe her, here's what they had to say. Vivian is very kind and a good friend. She does things for other people without asking. She is a kind classmate who is always positive and always nice to people when they're feeling down. Smart, caring, kind, loving. She is a very great classmate to have. Whichever fifth grade teacher has her will love her too. I have known all year that I wanted to nominate Vivian as a Seymour champion. All year she continued to prove to me why my brain was telling me she was the right choice. She has never given me one hesitation in this decision, and I hope that I can put into words, long words, sorry, how truly amazing this young lady is. This is a name that we will hear great things about in the future, and I am honored to be her teacher and watch her grow in the process over the past 2 years.
Now we want the parents to come up, and I have a challenge from her. I want you to go home and Google what a National Merit Finalist is. So I expect someday for Seymour High School, you're going to achieve that, okay? National Merit Finalist.
All right, up next, Seymour Middle School.
So I would like to ask the board if you could put on the agenda for tonight to move the CLS fourth graders directly to Seymour Middle School. Jeremiah, looking very forward to having you at Seymour Middle School. Great all the time. You're at Seymour Middle School soon now. So we have 2 students that we're honored tonight for getting the champion recognition from Seymour Middle School. Both students, accomplished students, honor students, great role models at Seymour Middle School. I'd first like to call up Vanessa Kahn from the 6th grade. Okay, so Vanessa was nominated by the Unified Arts Team, and I've mentioned this before at our board meetings, but in our school, we have a team structure where students meet the same group of teachers on a daily basis. Then you have the Unified Arts structure, which meets with every student in the building over the course of the year. So whenever a student is nominated by the Unified Arts Team, those teachers have the entire school to choose from, so it's really a spectacular accomplishment for a 6th grader, now 7th grader, to be up here. This is what the Unified Arts Team had to say about Vanessa. Vanessa exemplifies the champion qualities in a remarkable way, showcasing creativity, hard work, awareness, motivation, perseverance, integrity, optimism, and nobility. Despite her quiet demeanor, Vanessa's academic achievements and impeccable behavior make her a true role model amongst her classmates, demonstrating a positive attitude and a commitment to excellence in all aspects of her education. She will do outstanding.
Good.
The proud little
Brother.
Proud little
Yeah,
brother.
Elijah. All right.
All right, I would next like to call up from the 7th grade, well, now from the 8th grade, Grayson Champagne. Grayson has exemplified the Seymour champion attributes throughout his time in 7th grade. His creativity shines through in his original thinking, while his hardworking nature is evident in his diligence and constant efforts in all tasks. Grayson's awareness of his surroundings and impact, coupled with his motivation to achieve his goals, has set him apart as a true champion amongst his peers. His dedication, determination, and positive outlook have not only led to academic success, but have also shaped him into a trustworthy and morally upright individual. And he's going to be an outstanding 8th grader and one of the final candidates to be my personal bodyguard. So congratulations, Grayson.
All right, let me get them. There we go. Got it. Okay.
Would you guys come up?
Come up, yeah. Do you want me to take one of them?
Proud little sister.
It is on video. That would be a little awkward. There we go.
Next, Seymour High School.
Is Brandon with us tonight? I don't think that he is. He's not here. Okay? He graduated, but we're very proud of Brandon. I'm glad that it's very nice to be able to reach him with a diploma. He's been an outstanding student.
Okay, so the superintendent student recognitions, which will be the Memorial Day essay contest winners. First up, Monday School.
Yeah, I'll ask Mrs. Reed to come up and the principals as well with this. This is quite an accomplishment, these Memorial Day essay contests. The kids were also honored at the Memorial Day parade with the town. It was just really a great event, and we're extremely proud of them. And great essays.
So Hosna Nori is on vacation, so she is not here tonight, but we're celebrating her. And then also Tessa Mingler. So come on up, Tessa. Congratulations.
Is Mom here?
Oh, yeah, Mom. I'm here. And sisters. I don't know.
These essays were just very impressive.
So, our two at Chatfield Presty School were, winner was Ava Laporta, and runner-up was Juliana Delmonico. See Ava right here.
Come on up. Great job. Very proud of you. Also, the mom, come up. And you also got nice plaques, right? Can you tell? Okay. Lord, get the picture. Thank you.
There you go.
Middle school?
So Seymour Middle School's first runner-up was Ben Lynch. I don't see Ben now. Oh, there's
Who's the
Ben.
runner-up? No, we got it backwards.
No, Ben was first.
Okay.
runner, yes.
Okay.
So Ben Lynch, and our first place winner was Geet Schatzstrava.
Okay.
So we'll do Ben first.
Oh, I got it.
Well done. Yes, let's get a picture.
has the wrong.
Wrong name.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Good press.
Thank you, Buggy Kara, for watching out for us. All right.
And first place was Jeet Sachdeva.
Actually, it's our Chadfield. Sorry about that, Buggy. It doesn't make any difference. We're all
Yeah.
together anyhow.
No, take a picture. Yeah, everyone else did. You gotta get one too. Yeah, if you don't mind. That's not.
Very proud.
Yeah. All right, ready?
Ben, why don't you come up with your family real quick this week?
Oh, yeah, we missed.
We missed the family shot.
We got out of that.
Welcome back,
All right, ready? Great, thank you.
Okay, that wraps up the recognition, so we'll just have one quick round of applause for everybody. All right, and item 3, and then we'll let you go, is public comment. Anybody from the public would like to make a comment? No, public comment going twice. Third call for public comment. Public comment is closed, and we'll take like a 5-minute recess, unless you guys want to stick around.
And students.
he would like to just, before you start into the regular agenda,
around town, just a little.
So item 4, we have reports and presentations. I don't know if everyone saw Dr. Compton's newsletter go out. I don't know if you had anything specific you wanted to call.
I would just like to say, I think it's a good way to showcase our schools, our students, our staff. I also thought it was nice when we did the awards newsletter as well. I did have a suggestion from a parent, and when they email, I listen, I pay attention. She said, Dr. Compton, you need to focus also on the elementary schools more. We love our kids. I'm a parent, and we'd love to see Chatfield and Buggy showcase more, because it was a little heavy, high school, middle school. And she was right. And I emailed her back, and I said, I've listened, and you're right. So I think they turned out well.
We also have the special ed enrollment update. Anyone have any questions on that? All right, item 5, consent agenda.
I'll make a motion, we set
discussion and possible action, item 7. I'm going to move that we add to the agenda, item F, make it easy for you. Topic of shared services. Second by Mrs. Bruno. All those in favor? Opposed? Passes 7-0.
I also would like to say there was 2 errors made on the agenda. There was a mistake where it talks about Paul Gilman, who is the new business teacher hire. It's replacing Chelsea O'Connor, not Paul O'Connor. So it was a typing error. And also in regards about the principal's report, we had Bungie down twice. So I'm sorry for the mistake.
All right, so item 7, item A, independent contracts. We have to do these one by one.
I would just like to mention about these, I think it's, I have copies of these if you want to see any of them, the red lines. There were one contract, for example, which happened to be Ed Henry's. It did not show the final salary for this coming year, and it's a 2.24 raise. The majority of all of these are the same raises. However, there was adjustments made to one specific, and I also clarified that in an email. Based upon the years of experience, this person had a technology contract before I got here. It was a very low amount. I was just amazed really how low it was, and it didn't look at it in the detail until this year when they came up again, and each time everybody was just getting the consistent raise. But it was totally justified. It was budgeted to make the increase. This is the one that had an increase based upon the fact of the years of experience hired in 2017. I mean, this guy has a computer engineering degree and has just done an exceptional job, was able to make the adjustment through the budget. Unfortunately, with Charles, who we lost, I don't want to tear up, but he had a higher salary, so we were able to pull a few $1,000s from that, and it was several thousand increase. But that was the only one that was big in the amount of increase, but was totally justified. The only other thing I can say in regards, for example, with the school security officers, you can see what adjustments there was in regards about their days. You can see what I redlined. Cindy Brooks' contract basically was the same. Leanne's contract is including, because hers did not, like the other people that were in the unions, and it used to be in her contract, where you would have sick days and so forth to do the same payout like the others to make it consistent. It was the only one that was out there that was not. Paul Lucky's is the same. Derek's, there was a change there with the network manager. We combined the stipend into the salary, which became more justified. It's not an increase in salary, but it is, the duties are spelled out. So I don't want to get into personnel. In regards, the assistant athletic director is the same. Our athletic director is a part of her salary, okay? That's already figured in. That's why she's not on the agenda. As you all know, she's done an outstanding job, and we value her so much, but hers is a part of her salary now, and it's a part of administration, but it's not a part of the union. So I just wanted to clarify that as well.
So let's quickly go through these.
And here's hard copies if you need to see anything.
See anything. Okay, so the first one up is the SSO Chair, Ronald Bernard.
So, just I'm doing each individual, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we school security officer at Buckingham School as presented.
Motion by Ed, second by Kristen.
Sorry, I just, oh, sorry. You didn't say any discussion.
Go ahead.
I just think there's a discrepancy between the two contracts. And I just want to make sure that we vet up before. So if you go on the contract under section 5D,
What's 5D? You mean 7?
if you open up the contract itself,
Which person?
Talking about Ron?
first contract, yeah. Section 5D, is that contract mentions something about days. There is one change in one contract, but not one change in the other contract. I assume that there's.
Okay. You're exactly right with Ron, and I did email both of them. They are equal. It's supposed to be 10 days, that they'll be granted 10 days of sick days. That's right on Kevin's, and Ron has to say the same thing, under 5. So mark through that, and it's to say 10 paid, okay? They are identical. They're supposed to be
So I should
identical.
amend my motion to,
So for the workday work year section 5,
Yes,
it's not 5, it's 10?
yes,
Okay, along with 3 personal days
yes.
for both.
Well, Kevin's is spelled out right. It was supposed to be 10 paid sick days. That's the only change. Kevin's here as well. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yes.
So make it easy, just, yeah,
Yeah.
do that.
so let me understand what I'm amending. I'm amending it to say 10 paid sick days.
Yes.
That's it?
Yes.
Okay, I'll amend my motion to accept the proposed contract, but amending it to show that we'll have 10 paid sick days.
Any other discussion?
Sorry, I do think to the chair that that does add another level of conversation that I'm not sure if we're going to necessarily have right now, but just for, coverage purposes, is there, because we're adding additional time, are we able to work now with the police department to help?
We have a part-timer that also fills in?
We have a substitute, and then sometimes Ed Henry fills in as well. If we can't get a sub, he has to fill in.
Yeah,
Okay?
one of the former SSOs, Tommy Bennett, a lot of times fills in. Kevin don't call out. All right, anything else with the first one? All right, all those in favor? Opposed? Passes 7-0. Item A2, Cindy Brooks.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract for Seymour Nutrition Services, District-wide as presented.
Motion by Kristen, second Stefan. Any other questions?
Nope.
Hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Passes 7-0. A3, Leanne Doherty.
I make a motion to approve the dependent contract of Leanne Doherty, Executive Administrative Assistant to Central Office as presented.
Motion by Stefan, by Kristen. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Passes 7-0. Item A4, A5, Director of Security, Ed Henry.
No, 4, it's the Facebook facilitator, which is,
Okay, item 4 is Leanne for the Facebook facilitator.
I I'll make a motion to approve the independent contract of Van Doherty, Facebook Facilitator, Central Office as presented.
Stefan, second. Kristen, any discussion? Questions? Hearing none. All in favor? Opposed? 7-0. Now we'll do
I make a motion to approve the independent contract of Edward Henry, Director of Security, as presented.
Motion by Ed, second by
Second.
Stefan. Any other discussion?
I don't see a dollar amount in there.
His amount is not down, it's the amount of 70,000 added with the 2.25 raise. So I'm sorry for that. I went through these contracts, not detailed enough, but I'm kind of like a one-person whatever, and when these were typed, that was the part that was missed. It wasn't put in there. So if you want me to get the exact amount from Salvatore, I can.
Or why don't we just add it right now?
Yeah.
You said it was a 0.25 increase?
To 2.25 like everybody else. In regards to what Ed Henry,
715.
7-5. Dr. Compton, are you checking that with Sal? Okay.
I don't know if you should be talking like that.
No, probably not.
You either gotta talk out loud or you can't say anything. You can't do that.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. It's best that the accuracy, since it was not spelled out, I did include it, it just wasn't typed in. The amount is $71,575. It's a 2.25 increase, $71,575. I bet, Kristen, you'd already added it up.
Chris did it first.
Yeah, okay.
Checked your balance.
All right,
Yeah.
Okay.
Amended the motion
yeah, yeah.
and spoken by the superintendent.
Yeah, and Jay had caught that earlier. It's just when you type these many contracts and the whatever, and they should have been double proofed.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, we're good with the number?
We're good.
All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? 7-0. Item 6, grant writer for Paul Lucky.
Make a motion to approve the independent contract of Paul Lucky, District Grant Coordinator / Writer, Central Office as presented.
Stefan,
Second.
second by Kristen. Questions or discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed? This is 7-0-0. Item 7, Network Manager Derek Martin.
I'll make a motion to approve the independent contract of Derek Martin, Network Manager District-wide as presented.
Motion by Stefan, second by Kristen. Any questions?
I just had a question on section 5A. Is that something that we're going to start adding to for all ICE contracts? There's some good language in there. I just, again, is that something that was done out of new legislation? Or,
Termination for.
It specifically had asked for it, and I granted it because he felt it was important.
So that was a request.
And technically, it's kind of better if it's really included in all of them. It really needs to be a standard procedure and protocol, but it was a request, so.
This was reviewed by our attorney.
No, no. These are the same standard protocol. I didn't see the necessity. It was checked. I mean, it's a standard protocol. It's the same language that I've used in another. So that part's been attorney-approved.
Just interesting, we didn't add it to all of them. I mean, it's protection for the district and it's protection for the individual who requested it, so I don't have a problem with that. It just would be nice if it was in all of them,
Yeah,
but. we can
that's
do that
something
next
we
year.
can move forward for next year.
Yeah.
And just to follow up, I believe that $50, just to follow up, the $50 was something that we budgeted for the
Yeah.
increase in the
The-
bottom.
Jay, I can't hear you saying the what, something?
In 4B, the expenses, it went up $50 a month for coverage of the personal auto use.
Uh-huh.
That was something that we had budgeted for.
Technically, because again, one of the things in equity, one had it in their contract, the other one didn't. So that was the reason for the adjustment. And again, it's going back to the one that we had an existing 70,000 with Charles's position, and a new person coming in will not be paid on the high end. These IT people, I mean, you know, they're marketable, as you well know. And so I didn't want one contract with one person getting more mileage than the other. And you got to understand, these were done 3 years ago before I came, and that was the language for both. He was getting $50, I mean, more money, and the other, the mileage was different. So it needs to be equated equally. That was the reason.
Yeah, and through the chair.
Yeah.
I have no problem, but I think it goes back to the last thing is that it's not consistent amongst all of them. You know, I see $40, I see $125, I see $100, I see $150.
They
So-
vary with the different individuals as well as union contracts, just like administrators, they get $35 a month. I mean, it varies with mileage, if you have an estimated amount, exact amount, or if you're getting paid of whatever the mileage rate is.
But for some of these, you know, with the number, I mean, I think we should just make it consistent. That's
No.
all. And I think for next year, if we go to as the termination clause part, make that consistent, and maybe just to make everybody's mileage consistent.
Yeah. Well,
So
this
there's
is,
equity.
I don't think the mileage can be consistent because everyone has different requirements to travel across the schools, so that's why it varies.
there is
It's
some
not like we're
variation,
paying different
as much
mileage
as we
rates.
can.
The estimate of how many miles they're gonna drive is different. Is there a frog in the room?
Yeah, we got some kind of creature.
Nice,
There's something.
nice.
Yeah, yeah. But we'll be as consistent as we can with certain categories. I see what you're saying. Just understand, this was done 3 years ago, some of these that have reoccurred, and I'm trying my best to clean them up with what we have. And there's ways for improvement.
I have one more question.
Yes.
I'm not sure the amount of additional compensation for the website maintenance has been cited. It says as long as these services are provided, at the bottom of section 2, as long as the services are provided, the compensation due shall be in addition to the salary of district-wide computer technician. But I don't see what the number is.
Technically, it was the stipend that has been rolled into the salary in regards, based upon, there would no longer be a stipend that I'm going to hold this person accountable for all the of the stuff that the stipend before had addressed.
So I think that means that that paragraph needs to come out. The compensation
Right.
due shall be in addition to?
Yeah, it needs to be eliminated because we listed the other here.
Okay.
Okay?
And now I more fully
Right.
understand the amount of the
Right,
increase.
yes, yeah. Yeah, it definitely needs to come out, but that's exactly what they're responsible for.
Okay.
So everything
Yeah,
after.
everything except the last paragraph, because it's contrary.
Okay, so who made that last one?
I'm gonna withdraw my motion, I didn't say nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think, I think what we're looking at here is just the removal of item 2.7.
Yes,
Everything else is.
it's good.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to accept the contract between the district and network manager with the removal of paragraph 2.7.
Right. Kristen? Second by Kristen. Anything else? All right, all those in favor? Opposed? Passes 7-0. Item 8, district-wide computer.
I'll make a motion to accept the district-wide computer technician contract with the Seymour Board of Education as presented.
Motion by Kristen. Second by Kristen. Any questions?
Again, I've explained how the budget, based upon the other previous employee.
Hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Passes 7-0. Item 9, school security officer, Jacqueline Preston.
That's Kevin, and he's here with us tonight.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract of Kevin Pipinelli, school security officer, Chatfield Preston School, as presented.
All right. motion by
Second.
Kristen, second by Stefan. Any other questions? All those in favor? Opposed? Passes 7-0. And last but not least, item 10, assistant athletic director for Seymour High.
I make a motion to accept the contract for the assistant athletic director, part-time position at Seymour High School as presented.
Motion by Kristen, second by Kristen. Any questions or discussion?
I just wanted to make it clear that our athletic director, that her amount of being athletic director is included in the salary and is also a part of the administration budget, the athletic expenses. And Oxford is looking for a director of athletics full-time, and we sure don't want her being recruited by them.
All right, anything else? All those in favor?
I'm going to recuse myself.
6-0-1. All right, that wraps up those. Item B, the extension of positions contract. So B1, we have the in-school suspension facilitator for the middle school.
Make a motion to extend the position of the in-school suspension facilitator at Seymour Middle School to the 2024-2025 school year ending on June 30, 2025.
Ed, second.
Second.
Second, Stefan. Any questions? Discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? 7-0-0. Item B1B.
We're trying here with this athletic trainer situation again.
Not yet.
We're not there yet.
Okay, when we get there. Okay.
I'll make a motion to hire Samantha Rossetti for the position of in-school suspension facilitator at Seymour Middle School for the 2024-2025 school year.
Second.
Motion by Stefan, second by Ms. Harmon. Any questions or discussion?
this a union position or?
No, this is totally a standalone that was created last year. It's a year-to-year position,
But there's no contract.
just a one-pager. Yeah, it's just a generic one-page approved by the
More
board.
like an employment agreement.
Yes, yeah.
All right, anything else? All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Passes 7-0. All right, now B2 is the athletic trainer.
What we're trying to do, again, is work with Griffin. It worked out pretty well. I know Derby's utilizing them too, and some of the other valley schools. If they don't have a full-time athletic trainer, Oxford has a full-time athletic trainer. But we're doing the best we can, and they came through for us this past year. Pretty good job. So Kathy was able to schedule and cover quite a bit, the best we could. Yeah. Just to work with them on a,
What is that, I don't really understand what A is, to extend the position of athletic trainer.
well, technically, it's just ongoing because we had Griffin before. It's not worded very well. It should just say to continue to hire the athletic trainers that are
So
funded
combine
through.
those into
Right,
one, we could.
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to hire Griffin Hospital to fulfill the role of athletic trainer for the 2024-2025 school year.
Second.
Motion by Kristen, second by Ed. Any questions?
Another thing next month that we'll have to put on is our school physician. Again, it actually should have been on this one. So,
All right,
And hopefully-
hearing none. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Passes 7-0. Item C. 24-25 education budget.
well, that's just in regards to what was finally approved.
Do we have a link? Was there something that was done?
I don't think you really have to approve it. It's just the notification,
I think
okay?
in August, we'll approve the allocations
Yeah.
by Sal.
Yeah,
Because we never voted on the reduction to the line items.
no, we did not, right. As it got down to the 4.2, and it just, so,
We can't do that right now.
no, I just,
Okay.
Everyone good? Great for that.
I don't know if there's a timeline that we have to find the budget on.
There is no timeline. We actually don't have to do anything.
No.
There's a budget that was passed.
no, it was already,
We didn't do it.
once it was approved, right. They basically, when the Board of Finance and when it went, and the
I think
referendum.
we approved the 4.7 to send to them, and then it's.
We did,
now
and then the adjustment was made to 4.2, right.
Unless something changes. We have 13 days to change that. All right, item D, the fingerprinting policy.
Yeah, let's just accept, please, with, this is CABE. Bottom line is, this is something with doing an audit that Mr. Henry and I went through when they're looking at the new updates with fingerprinting, what is now required with the FBI. This is updated by CABE and also by the Criminal Justice Department, Connecticut. I also want to tell you about the best way to destruct this stuff is just to destroy the computer. I did talk with Rob Dyer, ask his advice. So one of the decisions that we had to make in here would, out of the three choices, what we would do, the three options, and the recommendation is you would just destroy the computer at the end. So that's what I'm recommending as submitted, and I'd like to go ahead and get it on to CABE because it's mandatory that we get this done.
So this is for policy 4212.5.
Yes. It's 4212.5. It's got all of the materials and everything associated with it. It's all together. And I'm going to send it to CABE, and they'll make the adjustments. It also came up in the annual updates as well, but this is a little bit more explanatory. It's in depth. It covers everything.
So we can
Adopt, so
we can revise and adopt with
2/3 vote.
So if someone would like to make a motion to revise.
And is that 2/3 of who's here or 2/3?
2/3 of who's here. I did determine that, because remember legally one night I said I didn't know the answer.
Oh, 2/3 of the quorum.
Yes.
So 4, we need 4. Okay, I move to revise and adopt policy 4212.5 as presented.
I second.
Second, Ms. Harling, any questions?
Is there any reason not to do this?
Statutory, we have to do this, or I'm going to be in trouble.
Instead of bringing it up next month.
Yeah.
We'll just do it all.
Yeah.
I feel concerning when we
Yeah.
really emphasize that we need 2/3.
Yeah.
That's this.
I'm just gonna be consistent in questioning it. It's in its final version, or there's going to be another revision?
This is, if we revise and adopt in one meeting, it becomes policy immediately.
Yeah.
If we revise, we wait a month and come back
Right.
and adopt, but if there's changes, now it takes 3 weeks.
And I'm going to send this on to CABE based upon if you all vote to approve it, and they will.
So, and then we'll get it back from
Yes,
Kate with
yes.
revisions? So this
Well, CABE, if there was anything to whatever, but this is basically their policy. And there's one thing here I have to mark about they gave 3 options, and that's the option 3. Okay?
Towards the end.
Yeah.
Okay, that was my question, because we start with talking about personnel and stuff with no numbers, then we jump into a number,
Yeah.
you know, and it's then, to me, it's very confusing.
It is. But all of this will.
Can you get a clean copy from Kate?
Yeah, they will send back what we send, and then they'll send back our policy update. They will add it, and then they'll show the update.
There are a very limited amount of red lines in here, though.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing substantive going on here. We're changing
Right.
Sounds like they'll tell us what we did
acronyms.
wrong anyways.
That's right. They're,
It sounds like they'll just tell us what we did wrong, if anything.
yeah.
So,
Where I question it is living with what we approve in the interim. Because it becomes our policy and we're bound by it.
Yeah.
Well,
I think this is one that to not have it in place is more dangerous than to have something imperfect in place.
that's right. Yeah, because any district that's not adopting it now is behind, and we're going to get in trouble with the state with the fingerprinting process.
And I actually, there's actually 2 policies, I believe it's updating.
It's a combination.
Yeah, it's, I believe, for,
Well, I think, through the chair, if I may, I think there's some confusion between the fingerprint, I'm sorry. Between the fingerprinting part and the collection of information, but then also when you talk about the destroying and/or, I think it seems to be a little bit confusing there. So of the access to information and the actual procurement of that information versus the retention and destruction.
yeah.
Right.
There's 3 policies here.
Yeah, it's embedded. It's
514, 412, 411.2.5, and 4212.5. This is all
combined.
combined.
Yeah.
But I guess, through the chair, one, for compliance of the standards or mandates, is all 3 of those parts.
Yeah,
So,
right.
and I think that's also where it gets like confusing as to what part is ours and what part is not ours.
Right, Jay, yeah, because
So I
it's
do
actually,
recommend a little bit of a cleanup, because in one, like, for example, there's a line where it says district, it doesn't say our district's name.
well,
then it
we've
goes
typed
to-
in, Elena and I went through with the Seymour Public Schools with the version, you should have had that in your, we went through and it'll each say Seymour Public Schools, so
So on
that's what we
page
have.
6, for example, it doesn't, it just says receiving or,
Yeah,
but that's in the regulation.
right.
I think that's the other piece of it is,
Some are regulations, not
we're
policies.
adopting those regulations as well.
Yes.
We don't even adopt regulations.
Procedures and regulations you follow, policy is what you adopt, but it's a combination in all of this. And trust me, it's three-tiered, it's layered up. We just need to do it. I don't want to get in trouble. We went through an audit. We were lacking it, and we got to get it done. Just trust me to send it on to CABE. And it's their policy so that we can get it on the record that we have adopted it. And so the same thing with the people doing the audit. They're just waiting to hear back because that's the only thing we lacked.
Is there a motion on the table? I believe there is.
Yeah, I just have to, so I only included 4112.5. It also should include 4212.5 and 5144.12.
Yeah, you need to include all of it.
I think I seconded yes. And
We're good to add all three?
yes,
Yes.
absolutely. That change works for me.
Okay, all right. So the motion is to take those three policies, amend.
So what are the numbers? 41?
5144.
It's-
It says it on the bottom.
That shouldn't be there. I don't know why that's there.
I think it's that top page that deals with,
No, this discipline. It's got nothing to do with this. That last page, that policy update summary isn't a part of the policy. It's just extra stuff.
Through the chair, isn't it already existing policy 4212.51?
that's what I'm,
It's already existing, but it's to update it. And, right, discipline is dealing with restorative, and that's just a policy update summary, so don't get that mixed up, okay? That was just put in the packet.
So it's just 4112.5 and 4212.5.
Yes. Yes.
And we already have 4412.5.
We do, it was just outdated, right, Jay, with all of these new updates about fingerprinting.
Yeah, because ours hasn't been updated since 2004, and they had,
Right.
on theirs it says it's revised 719, and now 424.
Yeah. And now they've done just recently an annual update that's in it. I've actually sent you all 3 yearly updates, and it's in there again with 2024 with these brand new updates from the criminal justice and the FBI.
Can you make the motion?
sure, all right. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Passes 700. Okay, item E, assignment of Appendix D.
I would say we don't need to vote on this. This is going to be part of the vote that we do when we approve a reallocation of the budget in August.
Technically, what we're dealing with here is that we've got counselors that are trying to work on scheduling, and by doing the Appendix D, they can work on it this summer and get paid, because where we don't have somebody that is totally assigned, it's now been put onto the counseling department. So we have 2 counselors who are willing to work on the master schedule. Used to be assignment of assistant principal. I'm moving it out. That assistant principal no longer is a part. We no longer have 2 assistant principals. So this is justification from master scheduling. The majority of all high schools or counseling department does master scheduling. Some of them get additional days that do that. So that's why the request, Jim looked at it, and I said, Jim, you can't have 2 for 1. We've got to look at, the web page advisor was 1, but the pep band was in the same amount in the Appendix D in the contract. So by taking the pep band and the web page advisor, we could pay for 2 people to do the master scheduling.
So you're saying that the Power School
Yes.
is not a current Appendix D position?
No, it is
You have
not.
to create that.
That's right. It's just to switch and use this too, which is more beneficial in regards in having 2 counselors do this, which is critical because, does a principal oversee master schedule? Yes. But for many years here at this high school, they didn't have it being done by the high school counseling department.
So that's why it's here, because you want this money for this summer.
Yeah, and another reason.
This summer, do we mean June? So this school year, or do we mean
Right.
July or August, which is on
We're-
next year's budget?
Right, we're basically talking as for July, or whatever time
Next
July,
year's budget.
yeah, next year's budget.
And is scheduling part of the current job description for the counselors?
And any other duties as assigned, most places generic says scheduling, because we're shifting due to the fact that we don't have an assistant principal, which, to be very honest and very direct, the administrators union has used that complaint against me with the master schedules. I'm being very open. I'm being more open than what I should be. I'm telling more than what I should tell. But I need this because I don't need to say, well, we don't have anybody to do this. This is another duty, okay? You don't have another assistant principal, but this can be taken care of. The majority of your high schools are always done by the high school counseling. I never heard of such till I came here. There's very few states that do it like this. In Connecticut, I did research. There are some that still do it, like principal, assistant principals, and then some, the head of guidance counseling and counselors do it. I'm saying to compensate where that we no longer have a second assistant principal, so it can't be used against me, and it's a win-win. They should be doing the master schedule anyhow.
And are we looking for 1?
2.
2?
2.
Okay, so
Two.
to make this easy, move it along, I will move that we create the position of a Power School Scheduling Counseling Advisor
Or appendix.
in the amount of $36.69. That will be an Appendix D position.
Second.
2, you said.
2. Thank you.
Stefan, anything else?
For the chair, just a couple things. So in their contract, it already says that they're receiving a 5% differential on step to cover responsibilities of conferences beyond the school day. They will be at their assigned school at least 1 day before, 1 day after. There shall be at most 6 days total. So you couldn't work any of those,
No, because they already, right,
You're
Jake.
only looking for 5,
Uh,
but it's still 3 days.
The problem is they use that to take care of end of the year and a lot of other duties.
This is whatever the number of days worked, it shall be
Yeah.
before or after.
Yeah.
So I guess my only other concern then would be, technically it's about $300 a day, $366 a day, so it's 10 days. How do we,
They need to keep a log.
but what kind of parameters in the sense that, like this says, 5, days before or after, there's a need here.
Right. I think we need to
How
do
we-
basic.
Right. So,
Basically-
the days have to be used within the first 2 weeks of July or the first 2 weeks.
The time limits and the perimeters will be set. This is your assigned duty. This is what you need to accomplish and show the proof of your time.
So can we
Yeah.
do that?
That's a day-to-day operation to just show that it's being done. That is legit.
I have no opposition to having them work extra days during the summer and paying them to work
Yeah.
extra authorize you to be able to do that. I don't like the idea of creating it as a stipend position when we believe that it's part of their job responsibility. This money's there.
Well, but it's never been assigned to them before, and they've not had an updated job description because this is what I inherited. I've had it come at me from the administrators union. I am trying to make a change. They need to do this and grow this within the counseling department. But right now, it is above and beyond. And when you do a master schedule, and Kristen, you know this, being in education, I mean, it involves a lot. It's massive. So this is the best plan that I can come up with, and Mr. Freud as well.
Can we do this and then for the July's meeting, have a job description for that?
Yeah, to spell out specifically what this entails. But it's a part of the Appendix D. I mean, it's basically outlining what all they do in para
And this
school.
is just basically summer work, really?
Yes, it's to do a master schedule. That's what it is, the master schedule for Seymour High School.
But to the chair, if I may, couldn't that be some sort of special assignment instead of being precedent setting that it becomes part of the contract? You know, because that's my concern is that now this is something that we could be almost paying for doubly, so to speak, because we don't necessarily, if in the long term that position comes back, then what happens? You know that I'm just afraid that this becomes.
Well, even if that position does come back as an assistant principal in any capacity, they don't need to be doing scheduling. It just shouldn't.
How much time do they work in the summer normally?
Well, they have a few days that are allocated to them. Like Jay was saying, can we be creative and utilize that? Well, that'd be great, but there are already end of the year things that they finish up that they're already obligated to do. So,
But so, sorry.
But the days and the time we're talking about are Appendix D positions. None of them have days and times attached to them.
they don't have a lot of detail because some of them are just
None of them
being
think about coaching
coach or a drama or, yeah.
None of them designate time and stuff, it just says there's stipend to.
And a job to do, a responsibility. Yeah, and the proof would be giving the master schedule and the time frame and putting in the time.
We're talking about the days on
Yeah.
stuff there.
Yeah,
None
and it-
of our appendix.
No, and it's just spelled out in
Doesn't
that,
tell the coach he has to coach
Yeah.
4 days before practice, 7 days after, none of that.
No,
Or
and-
the booster club, or the drama club, doesn't tell them they have to do this before.
each of them vary, but I'm just saying and trying to add structure in regards with this whole master schedule. One of the counselors is going to paraschool training in Boston to be trained a week, which is good. It's a great update. It's what's needed. We're trying to move
I
forward.
think we're overcomplicating. it.
Yeah,
We have
yeah.
a mechanism in place to pay them. They're gonna do the work. They know how to do the work. Let's
That's
move
right.
on.
Yeah. So-
But through the chair, I'm concerned though, because it does seem to be precedent setting that we put the dates and the times constraint to that. I mean,
Well, let's don't put anything.
Can
But
we
just,
authorize you to pay them without making it an Appendix D stipend?
Because we.
Yes.
Sure. we
You
did it-
could.
We're doing that all over the place. I mean, we've
Right.
done it with Mr. Lucky, we've done it with Leanne. They have
We've done it
formal
with-
contracts to the effect, but it
We've
doesn't
done it with
necessarily
the
have to be.
tardy.
tardy officers.
That's right.
So to me, I would feel more comfortable if we did it with something like that than the contract. Again, you're changing, you're changing some of the,
Presidents. Yeah.
you're setting precedent here.
Yeah,
You know,
right,
you could
well,
come
yeah,
and say, oh, I want to be the Spanish club person, I'm going to meet 5 times.
Yeah.
Where's my check?
no,
I think you're getting hung up, Jay, on there's no job description written for this. The 5 days is just what Mr. Foyne put in an email for an estimate. That's not gonna go into like a job description because
What-
of all the reasons Mr. Stramella pointed out. It's not in any job description for Appendix
Right.
A.
what you could do is just designate that we pay them for this and create a standalone.
Because again, through the chair, you're also setting up, and I'm sorry to harp on this, but you're also setting up that this is specific to a guidance counselor. It's an appendix D position. Any person in the bargaining unit should be eligible.
No way.
But
Yeah,
in technical
it's,
terms,
well, but when you're
in
saying,
technical terms, it's an appendice position. If we're making it like that, then anybody in the bargaining unit should have access to it.
I don't know how
Yeah.
that works.
Yeah,
So-
Yeah.
it doesn't mean they're gonna get it.
yeah. I don't know what he's saying, that you don't want discrimination, but
We don't
it's,
wanna open up the can of
that they're only
worms.
certain skills.
I don't think it puts us on the legal ground to make it a duty position or a
Well, give me that amount of money to have two to do the master schedule.
All right, so I rescind my motion, and I'll move to direct the superintendent.
Let's come up with an independent.
Use the 3669 times 2
Oh, the webpage advisor, right?
of the webpage at Band Advisor to get the schedules done, to get the master schedule done.
Don't even do appendix D.
because we don't
No.
have a fixed budget.
That's true.
I agree with you. And who knows, maybe we'll have a pep band next year.
Okay, think about it.
I make a motion to authorize the superintendent to create the position of Power School Scheduler and not to exceed the amount of 2 positions of Power School Schedulers, not to exceed the amount of $3,669 per position. I think, I personally think it's a little high, but would,
It's a lot of time, though. It could work.
Second.
All right, okay, second by Stefan, any other questions? All right, hearing none, all those in favor?
Okay.
Opposed, abstention?
Thank you. That will give me the liberty to get them to get it done.
Okay, item F, the item we added, shared services. I just wanted to talk to you guys, I know I talked with everybody, probably but Jay and Kristen. So as you know, for this calendar year, we have 3 shared service agreements. They were drafted up in, I got notes here, so I don't get things wrong. They were drafted up in August of '22, where we had,
September of 21, but
that was, right, the ones that prior to that was the weird ones. But as of '22, we were paying 50% of facility director, 20% of IT director. We had nothing on paper for the HR director. For this year, everything is 50-50 split with the 10% of their benefits. Now, this is where it gets frustrating. We received an email on January 31st at 3:02 p.m. saying that the town wanted to talk about those 3 positions. And those
January
contracts.
31st?
January 31st, because in the agreements, it states that either party, by the close of business on the 31st of January, if they notify each other in writing that they would like to make a change, that is the deadline. Otherwise, they auto-renew every year.
But-
So we received that email, and that opened the door for other conversations. The town wanted to then incorporate a town-wide, Board of Ed and town, finance department, IT department, and what they were calling operations, which includes custodial contracts, custodians, and all of the building maintenance. Dr. Compton and I, like we always have separate meetings and had some discussions. I don't want to speak for her, but I believe she's on board with the facilities piece, because that would have taken some money that was a hindrance in our budget that fluctuates and put that on the town side. But we, when I say we, Board of Ed and the town were on opposite ends of what it was we felt were shared services. So those talks kind of died. I was asked to come in and just hear them out and listen. I didn't want to do that alone. So these two, Kristen and Stefan, I had them come. Some of the problems that I had is at the last Board of Selectmen meeting, they talked about this as a subcommittee. I never created a subcommittee. Nobody created a subcommittee. They They can correct me at any point if I'm wrong. We just heard them out. We weren't authorized to bring anything to the full board, make any recommendations. You know, and to be fair, we weren't the ones who initiated this. So there is a push to have shared services, but I, for the most part, have said, and told Dr. Compton and the first select person are at the table, that the three of us weren't gonna do any more conversation.
And let's talk about the differences. Shared services with individual contracts is one thing. Shared service to go with agreements to give away your authority is another thing. So let's distinguish between the two. Individual contracts, when I first came here, apparently their 3 individual contracts was signed July 1st in 2021. I was hired in August. I interviewed in July. They signed off on a contract. I've only seen one. I haven't even seen the other 2 contracts. Then we come about in September of 2022 and we work out a situation to include the Director of Human Resources, who was never a part of the shared services. And that was an agreement that was signed by me. I have to go back to the board agenda. There was a 3, and it was a 1-pager. I still have a copy of it. And it mentions about the 3 and the equal 50%. And Salvatore and I also put down with that we would pay only 10% of the insurance benefits and then 50% of their salary. That was signed off, and then if there were ever any disagreement or one party didn't agree, then it would dissolve. I just want to make sure that everybody understands that individual contracts is different from also moving forward to where you would relinquish your authority in regards about moving forward. Only you as a board can give that up. The handout from the Connecticut School Law with Mooney, it states very clearly that provides the local board of education may enter into a written agreement with the local physical authority to authorize such physical authority to take responsibility providing any non-educational services being provided by each board of ed. If it is possible that such agreements would lead to efficiencies in certain circumstances, but most boards of education will be reluctant to give away their authority for district operations, even for non-educational services, whatever that means. So it's the second page. I just want to state that any agreements the town might come up with, the bottom line is you have to be in agreement to give your authority up. There's a lot of research that's been done with this. It's not my job to get into it. I'm not the expert because I don't even get to vote on it. Casbo, I think, Kristen Bruno, you have a really good background on this about shared services. There's been no other research since then. There's basically around 4 school districts that are participating in shared services throughout the state. It's very limited. Like anything else, there's advantages, there's disadvantages. I realize with the Board of Ed, you have 2,100 kids. There's a huge responsibility here. I think also if you look, there's something else too that sometimes gets missed in the mix of all of this. The local boards, the Moody Book, Connecticut School Law, page 16. The statutes give the Board of Education extensive authority independent of the town. The powers of the school board are separately set out in the statutes. Okay, let's understand what's the role of the superintendent. The superintendent, of course, answers to the Board of Education. I'm evaluated by you, that's statutory. And we'll talk more about my evaluation this summer. But I'm just saying, A Board of Ed is a separate entity. I work for you as a board. I don't answer to anybody else but to the Board of Education. And I can tell you I've been in the business 45 years, and I would never relinquish. That's my opinion. Whatever, I've heard that people may want to get rid of me over this, but I am telling you, it's your right and it's your privilege, whatever you decide to do. But 45 years, I've been a superintendent, a successful superintendent in 3 states. I know how to run a school district. If people want to run a school district, get their 093 and apply and be the superintendent. If not, let us run the school system. It also states in here, the superintendent runs the day-to-day operations. We function just fine. We don't need somebody now saying, okay, we want to take over your non-educational services. We want to take over your operations. We want to take over your technology. We want to take over your facilities. You know what? Guess what, folks? We're doing okay. We don't need the interference, and a lot of places don't do this. And it is what it is. It has to be your decision. But to enter into a written agreement, you have to agree to give that authority up. But my job is to run the day-to-day operations. I made a commitment when I interviewed here on July 13th in 2021 that I would always uphold and do what was best for kids. You took an oath of office to do what's best for kids. And people trying to micromanage our school system is wrong. I'm sorry. That's my belief. I go on record for it. If I lose my job, that's okay. Sorry.
All right, so I just wanted to bring that up. I don't know if anyone has any questions. I don't know if Kristen or Stefania had anything to add. But as far as I'm concerned, the deal is dead. Any kind of discussions are dead unless the superintendent wants to re-enter and
No,
talk with
I don't want to be a part of
What
it.
she just
Yeah, I
said she
think
would
so.
not do.
I'm not a part of it.
It's our.
Your
it's
decision.
Our decision to enter. I mean, Dr. Compton shouldn't
No.
talk about this at all because she
No.
doesn't report to people at town hall.
But so, through the chair, how does it affect, one, I guess 2 questions, sorry. So 2 issues, one, how does it affect our budget? Because again, that was, seemed to be, from my understanding, when it was presented to us, that they were picking up the 100%, before.
This has nothing to do with Rob Timmerchris's position. This was adding a whole separate shared service
Agreements.
agreement for a town-wide Department of Finance, which included Board of Ed and town, a town-wide operations, which included custodians, building maintenance, and then also a town-wide IT department, which would basically no longer be under the purview of the Board of Ed.
And you got to understand, yeah, and you got to understand the cost savings analysis. Do your homework. There's not a cost savings analysis.
It's a little bit frustrating because you got a letter on January 31st, and we're hearing about it now.
Yeah,
And there was, but wait.
She forwarded that.
Wait,
that email.
but there was also a cost-benefit analysis that I don't.
No, I'm just saying
It's not
financial.
gonna matter. The savings was
No,
not.
this will save us money.
Okay, and so the Board of Selectmen is talking about this tomorrow,
There's the
and
agenda.
they can talk about it all they want, but there's nothing for us to react to at this point because no proposal has been made to us, is how I feel about it.
From my perspective, there were, it's not a black and white issue, certainly. There are benefits that could be realized from, streamlining town departments, but there's a great concern with losing autonomy of the Board of Education and us willingly entering into that. There would have to be things much more strongly written out in black and white for me to feel comfortable personally, and I don't think anything that I saw throughout the process would be something that I would put my name on and even want to bring before you all. So there was good faith efforts, there was good communication and good talks. At the end of the day, I don't think there was an appetite or would be an appetite for going any further.
Yeah, I would just add, my concern is that if the email that was received on January 31st is considered a termination of the shared services agreements, then
I don't believe it is a termination. It's that there wanted to be a change. No change was ever proposed to those three agreements.
But there was a change, sorry if I'm through the chair, there was a change as the costs have now been, according to the budget, picked up on their side.
We budgeted 50%, the town budgeted 100%.
And then once the budget was changed from 4.7 to 4.2, but with the closeout now of the financial year, we're going to have some money left over based upon a special education cost, the grant, as Salvatore explained in the finance meeting, and we're going to have $100 and some thousand, so we can give the 150 as the money goes back to the town. It was good and gracious on their part. You have to commend them for that they would pick up the 150,000, but we're going to be able to give money back to the town if that's what the board, you all, I mean, at the end, because
We'll discuss
based
that
upon,
more on
yes.
this, because I would like to know what the town's purview is with the shared service agreements that we have now. And then there's also an
What do you mean by
option.
their purview?
Well, I mean, do they auto renew? I'm not. a
Here is
contract
one
guy.
of the things I can tell you, that their contracts, the one contract I saw, and I assume all three are the same. I don't know that they're up this year as of July 1st. Simbone said they may be 5-year contracts instead of 3. You as a Board of Ed, we're only allowed to give 3 at the most. So bottom line is, it is time that they renew their individual contracts. So.
But that's
as a-
totally separate and independent from an agreement of who's paying their salary. That should be
Yes.
a clear
That's a
memorandum
clear
of
contract,
understanding
yes.
between the school board and the town government. And, you know, for me, it is time to revisit that, because I don't think in any way, shape, or form we're using 50% of Mr. Pelosi's time. And I can't speak at all to facilities or IT, to the 2 directors there. I don't know if we're getting 50% of their time or not.
You got to understand too, folks, that technology is a very serious thing for a school district. Educational technology is at the hub of student achievement. And you can't have it offset down to the town. We're here to service 2,100 kids by computer technicians not located on the campuses. I'm sorry, educational technology, you get into pear school, you get into assessments, you get into HIPAA. There's a lot of things that's involved in all of that. And, you know, it is what it is. Yes, it is. Yeah, a lot of student data privacy. So, they've done a good job. They're not saying haven't, but I'm just saying there's written agreements and then there's individual contracts.
But to the chair, it seems like there's a timeline issue here. You know, it's June 17th, and if they auto renew on July 1st, or, you know, will we be able to make changes?
We don't even make changes. You all didn't even approve them. The one I saw was signed off by First Select Woman and Vonda, July 1st, 2021. That's the first time I'd seen an individual shared service contract. So I think what it is, their contracts are up, and the town will prepare the contracts. They'll either have in there shared services or not, which I would hope that it would have shared services. I don't know.
So we committed to 50% of the pay, but we don't have any say over what the pay increase will be. That doesn't sound like a very smart move.
I don't believe we're on the hook as of today, a single penny of their salary.
And why is that?
Because that was the cut we made to get down to the 4.2.
They graciously gave $150,000.
Yeah, I kind of missed that whole thing, and I was at the finance meeting, and boy, was there no clarity around that at all. And I think that was on purpose.
For a 4.7 to a 4.2, but you're going to have money left over you can give back to the town, which will compensate for that.
But there was also a statement made that they're town employees now.
Yeah.
So I think we need to understand what are the terms.
Of town employees. It's a shared
I
service.
think when we say this, the chair, we're giving money back, I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with that, because I don't understand fully, it's for the 23, or it's for the, as of this budget ending June 30th. So how do we say, oh, well, we're saving money here for June 30th, but we're giving you money back?
We're not related, Jay. These are not related. We're muddying the water right now. These are two separate thoughts.
It's two separate, just what he's estimating as the closeout.
I know, but I'm speaking to what Dr. Kemp's saying is that we're gonna give money back to offset.
If we have, no,
Respectfully,
that's
I don't
our
think
call.
Dr. Conley should have said that, 'cause
No,
they're not connected.
no, that's not my call, it's the Board of Ed in regards to what they do. I'm saying there's going to be some surplus money because the special ed grant and also regards to energy costs.
But
And I understand.
until Sal gives us.
So he gives us a final in August, we don't know exactly.
But what I'm saying is that as a member of this board, it is my belief from the meetings that we've had that the town, and I believe that we put that out to the townspeople before they came to vote on the budget, was that those three costs were now being placed in the town side of the budget.
Yes.
We were reducing our budget by 150,000 or 50,000, so be it, and the town was picking that up.
That is correct,
So
Jay.
for me, we didn't vote on that, so.
No.
Then I don't know.
We don't vote on it. We set our budget, we send it off to the Board of Finance. Everybody should know how the budget works. We don't vote on a budget once it's passed at the referendum. What happens if we vote no? We got
But we
70.
voted on a number with that as what we were telling.
Right, it went from 4.7 to 4.2, and that was very gracious of the town to do that, to bring the
So we
percentage.
really didn't reduce our number by anything, we
They
just
tell us
changed
not
the
to
line.
reduce it.
Right.
Until we get the budget
Right.
allocations from Sal and we vote on it in
Right.
August.
We don't really know,
Sal
it's
could
just
put
an
$37
estimation.
million into electricity.
Yeah.
We would vote no.
Nothing is definite, it's just, and it's something that we're being preliminary about, we shouldn't even say, but there could be the possibility of giving money back if there's anything left.
Or there's also possibility of, hold on, I wrote it down, enforcing 10-248A and opening an account finally, where we can carry over up to $769,000.
I believe the town has to agree to that, though.
Yeah.
That's not something we can unilaterally do.
I think they changed it this year.
Just-
I don't want to.
It just came out,
Order,
we'll have to
way
get,
off topic here.
yeah, yeah, let's move.
Thank you. Okay, anything else on shared services? Okay, cool. Item 8, information, the recognitions, resignations, hiring, summer hiring, and transfers, and the extended school year. There was, I thought there was something in here about.
I in the information.
Chromebook.
Yeah, there was something.
Right, so I think what we're doing now is we're going to start enforcing our policy about.
Yes, I just want to mention that. I quoted the policy. Basically, it's flat out vandalism. And if they keep tearing them up, the second and third offenders, we're going to be taking disciplinary action, and we're not just going to hand them another Chromebook. So that's something that we're going to be addressing. The graciousness that you all did with COVID and whatever, but we've got people that are kids tearing up Chromebooks, and that's got to stop. And I'm going to step in some of these they're being tore up 2 or 3 times. I'm going to meet with the parents myself with the principal. So David's done a lot of repairs on those.
All right. Any questions on the information? All right. Item 9, comments. I'll be real quick. Just congratulations to the class of 24. It's a pretty nice event. Minus the sun. Shining on Kristen and I only.
And only on one side.
One side.
Was only on one side?
Only on one side. Everybody else was in the shade, but I think the two of us.
Well, I had sun.
I don't know what you're talking about. We're getting it too.
We had sun.
It was hot. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is with the help of Shannon, who's not here, seen the Board of Ed Facebook page. If you haven't seen me after, it's just kind of like a communication tool for us to the public. I think there's around 100. So, one of trying to keep that growing. And there was a couple of things that I don't like ask a board member question on Sunday. So it's been well received. So any help anyone wants to go gear on it too. But that's it for me.
Congratulations to the class of 2024.
Same, I think that students that spoke at graduation did a great job. The 3 speakers had different perspectives, but I really enjoyed their speeches.
I agree with the high school stuff. When I took the middle school speakers, so that ceremony was, I'm only disappointed in our 2 board reps because they did well at track meet and they never told us how well they did. And they both achieved something, so I would have liked to congratulate them at a meeting, because when they give us the report, they just give us the team. But it would be nice, considering they spent time with us too, because, you know, they were on one of them was on a winning relay team, you know, not first place stuff, but still, it was nice that they, I would like to congratulate them. Because obviously, one of them was off to college.
Mm-hmm.
That was my only disappointment. Mine.
That's it? That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Lori?
Same. Congratulations.
Well, that's your first one, right? Jay?
Just thank you again to the board members for the honor of the Awesome Wildcat Award. It was very humbling. And thank you very much for the class of 2024 for the middle school and high school. It was really special to be able to be there with them.
Cool. All right, over to you, Dr. Thompson.
I'll just be very quick. Next month, we'll be coming back. Mr. Bucci and I will, in regards to the update on the Safe Schools Grant. Rob Dyer's already presented this to the town. He did a fine job in regards with their lease agreements for the cameras, and we hope to do the same in hopefully July. But all possible, Vercata will have to give us the agreements. They've already done it with the town. They were on the bid list. So we'll be bringing this back, and hopefully that we can get moving on this. You had allocated, I think it was $80,000 because of the 40% match. I would just like to say in closing, I thought the moving up ceremonies for Bungie and Chatfield Lopresti, the middle school, went extremely well. Was extremely proud of the 2024 graduates. They were dear to my heart, and I'm just glad we were blessed. A lot of people had a lot of nice compliments, and just very proud of our kids and proud of our school community. That's all I have to say.
All right, any questions for Dr. Thompson?
One thing I just want to commend the job of the parking facilities, or Mr. Henry or whoever was leading that charge, because there's a world of difference going up for that mystical ceremony. It was amazing, you know, that there was no traffic. It seemed like the flow was a lot better. So whoever made that happen, kudos to them.
Henry, he worked on it.